So she's thinking, what's her husband doing there? So she drove down there.
Me and this girl have crazy chemistry and hit it off like undeniable. And we go hot and heavy for 7 days.
I was like, holy shit, how could these two things be happening at once?
Man. And before someone will say not every man cheats, I know that. But sometimes when you hear certain stories, you can't help but ask yourself why someone would risk their marriage, their family, and the person who loves them for this. Like, how many minutes of pleasure is it again? Ever said to yourself, I don't think cheating can shock me anymore? Today's video might change your mind. And at the end of this video, you may find yourself completely offended on behalf of the women that are involved in this. But anyways, let's get right into it.
Okay, guys, let me just tell you the worst cheating scandal that has ever entered my DMs, ever. So basically, this lady was married to her husband for 14 years in total. So about 6 years in, he had to move to another state because of work. So around the 7th year, 8th year, she asked him, because they had 5 children, but they were all girls. She asked him, do you want us to try again so that we can get a boy? But he was like, nah, whatever God has blessed us with. Because she didn't want him to step out, because in her culture, men really want sons. So she didn't want him to step out just because she wasn't able to give him a son, in her opinion. Okay, cool. So about 8th year, 9th year, she was asking him, should me and the kids move to your state so we're all together? He was like, nah, that where you're living in that state, I own that house, but where I'm staying, I rent. So it doesn't make sense to bring you and the 5 kids to come and rent with me, right? Cool. So he said no. So fast forward their 14th year anniversary. Every anniversary, she cooks, gets the kids dressed up, and then he comes and they celebrate. This year, she called him. He didn't pick up. Bear in mind, the kids are already dressed. She's already cooked. She's already excited to see her husband. But he did not turn up. So she was angry, like, what the heck? Sent the kids to bed, settled down. Next day, someone calls her that she needs to come to this hospital, that her husband is in hospital. Bearing in mind, the hospital that they're calling from is like an hour away from her house, not the other state that he's meant to be in. So she's thinking, what's her husband doing there? So she drove down there, saw her husband. He's been beaten up black and blue. She's thinking, what the heck happened to my husband? Finds out that her husband has a girlfriend that has a son for him, allegedly. So her husband and his girlfriend got into an argument, and he slapped the girlfriend. The girlfriend went to go and tell her other boyfriend. He brought boys to the house and beat the hell out of her husband. Allegedly, the girlfriend has a son for him, but because she has several boyfriends, you can't say is that his son or not. Cool. So the husband, after a week, was able to open his eyes, was talking to her, was begging her that, forgive me. So she forgave him. Now, after she forgave him, like a day or two later, her husband passes away. The trauma to his brain was too much. So I'm thinking, wow, this story is really sad. She was like, no, that's not the end of it. That's not even the beginning of how her life got turned upside down. And I was like, what? There's more. Like, huh? So after her husband passes away, she's obviously mourning her husband, crying, went back to the house. Oh, a little while later, the girlfriend comes saying that I'd like my house, please. And she's like, are you crazy? What do you mean you'd like your house? You have 1 child for him. I have 5 kids for him. We've been married 14 years, blah, blah, blah. That's when the family lawyer came in. Basically, before the husband died, he wrote a will and he gave everything to his son. He willed everything to the son. Nothing for the wife, nothing for his 5 children. So the house they were living in was hers. Everything he had, he gave to the son. And I was like, what the hell? So her and her 5 kids, bear in mind, she's been a housewife for 14 years, had to leave the house, and then the girlfriend sold the house. To me, this is just the height of betrayal. You know what I mean? Like, this is the height of betrayal. Anywho, she said that her local community came together, saved money for her, and she was able to get like a little apartment. And I think she's doing well, has her own business and stuff like that. But you lot just comment and tell me what you lot think, because I thought my heart was like, oh my God.
Every time I think I've heard it all, another story would prove me wrong. I mean, it's bad enough that you're cheating, but then cheating with someone that hates you is on another level of stupidity. I'm sorry, but I don't know what other word to qualify this with. How do you cheat with someone that is just there to get something from you. The truth is that a lot of men do not know that there is no woman that cheats with you that actually likes you. They don't like you, especially if they know that you have a wife, or you're in a serious relationship, or you have a girlfriend. They don't like you. I promise you that they don't. They just want to compete with the other woman. The earlier you know that that is a strategy of women, the better for you as a man. Women do this a lot. And obviously, I can guess what part of the world this story happened. These things happen a lot in Nigeria, in this part of the world where I'm at, where the man wants to go outside and have a son and blah blah blah. I know it's a norm over here and maybe some other African countries, so I'm sure that this wasn't made up.
Not proud of it, man enough to admit it, and I mean it. I'm not proud of this. When I was 23 years old, prefrontal cortex developed. Do not trust a man in his early 20s. They cannot think straight, and it's not their fault. I took a trip to Miami with my guy friends, and my girlfriend of 2 years went with her girlfriends. We went for Art Basel. When I get to the place that I'm staying in Miami with my guy friends, it's supposed to just be one of their girlfriends, and that's it for girls, but there's another girl there. Immediately, me and this girl have crazy chemistry and hit it off like undeniable. And obviously, I know I have a girlfriend. We did not do anything. There might have been some suggestive talking, but the chemistry was so intense, you could not deny it. The day that I get back from the trip, I tell my girlfriend of 2 years, we need to break up. The next day, I start seeing Miami girl, and we go hot and heavy for 7 days. We're hanging out almost every day, sleepovers, going out together, doing it all. After about 7 days, I freak out, think, what have you done? You need to get back with your girlfriend. That was a crazy reactive move. And I call my girlfriend and say we should get back together. We do. We date for another year until she eventually is scrolling on Instagram one day and comes across Miami girl's profile. On her profile, she sees a photo from the exact short 7-day window that we were broken up, where I liked a picture, and she calls me, says, who is XYZ? Why did you like her photo? And did you do XYZ with her in that window? I said, yes, I did. We broke up on the spot, and we haven't spoken since.
Honestly, I don't even expect much from a 23-year-old man or a woman. However, I expect accountability from you. The fact where he said it's not his fault because his frontal lobe has not developed, that's trash, because you already know right from wrong and you knew that cheating is wrong. Yes, I don't expect much from a 23-year-old because, yeah, you don't really know a lot as regards relationship and all, but you know that cheating is wrong. And if you already had a history of cheating, even though you were 23, I cannot trust you no matter the age that you become. There are a lot of 23-year-olds that are not cheats, especially if it was already established that you had a serious girlfriend or you were in a serious relationship, but you still went ahead to do what your balls were dragging you to do or was dragging you to do. Come on, I cannot defend that. The only situation I can defend is if you had a flock of girls around you and you didn't know what qualities to look out for in a woman. Then perhaps you fall for the wrong girl and you realize your mistake later in life. Yes, that's being a child, not cheating. You know what you did there. So there's absolutely no excuse. Anyways, kudos to the girlfriend for dumping him.
Okay, so I've been working through this cheating scandal in therapy, right? And my insinuating trust issues that have come to the surface. And one of the real twists of the knife that happened was when I first found out that my ex was cheating and that woman sent me all of their screenshots of their little conversations, I was like, holy shit. And I looked at the date of one of their conversations and I was like, what were he and I talking about on that day? Because like, how could these two things be happening at once? So I scrolled back in our text thread to read our conversation from one of these days, and the way my jaw dropped when I saw what he said to me. So he was being very quiet that day, right? And I had noticed because Aries. And I say to him, like, hey, you're not being like as responsive as you normally are. What's going on? And I think I made a joke, like, you talking to someone else? Obviously not thinking that he actually was. This man says to me, you know, an accusation is usually an admission of guilt. While he's actively sending beep, beep, pictures elsewhere. He's insinuating that because I'm asking if he's talking to someone else, that must mean that I am the one that's cheating. Whoa. Hey. Whoa. The mental gymnastics, the mind games. Honestly impressive. If my gas wasn't lit before then, I don't know what would do it.
It's one thing to be a cheater, and it's another thing to be manipulative while at it. Come on, come on. Like, that's too evil in one. And I'm not sure anybody on the surface of this planet Earth can actually deal with that. Trying so hard to shift blame when I'm supposed to be watching my back from you. Most times, the people that are first to throw stones are actually guilty of the same thing they're accusing another person of. Guys, I'm done here. My ears are filled up. Tell me in the comment section which story had your jaws drop. Like, you were like, just tell me in the comment section. And what advice do you have for men? Men, I know that we women obviously have our own ish, even when it comes to cheating. Yeah, a lot of women cheat, but the ratio is way higher. It's way higher. Yeah, argue with your keypad. Anyways, that brings me to the end of my video. Thank you all so much for sticking with me to the end of this video. Please do also like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I'll see you all in another video. Okay, bye.